Welcome back to the Line Change. This is our Canucks versus Rangers game recap video. Starting things off, I'm just going to mention that it was Seelovs who was the backup tonight on the bench instead of Demko, despite Demko being the backup in the game against St. Louis. So I thought that was odd, as hopefully we get some sort of explanation on that. As we know, Demko is on the trip, but the fact that he wasn't the backup is odd for me, especially considering there was a possibility he could have potentially played in this game. But moving on, starting off with the first period, it was definitely a much better start for the Canucks in this game than the game against St. Louis. Dakota Joshua scores his 5th of the season at 11 minutes and 51 seconds, assisted by Hughes and Amon. This was point number 400 for Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes is at 400 points. Also, Kiefer Sherwood, 8 hits in this first period. He breaks the NHL hits record. He tied it against St. Louis with 10 hits in that game. So just this first period alone, he finishes with 8 hits. So a big congratulations to Kiefer Sherwood on breaking the record. There's also, he could potentially reach 400 hits by the end of the season. So let's hope that Sherwood can do that. The Canucks were controlling most of the offensive zone time in this first period. The final shots in the first period were 11-1 in favor of Vancouver. So the Rangers only managed 1 shot on goal in this first period. So things were looking pretty good for the Canucks in this first period. Moving forward to the second period, JT Miller with a little playful shove on Quinn Hughes, I noticed. Some people are going back and forth on this. Was it, a little shot from Miller? I didn't really read too much into it when they showed it. Miller just being Miller. EP40 left the bench in the second period and went to the dressing room. It looked like he may have hurt himself on a face-off draw. Maybe his ribs or his midsection. And then Shesterkin gets penalized for grabbing face washing Sherwood, out of nowhere. I don't understand what Shesterkin was thinking there, but he got penalized for it. Canucks were not able to convert on that power play. Matter of fact, the Canucks ended up going 0 for 4 on the power play today. DeBrusk also got a penalty for roughing when he was getting mugged by 3 Rangers. So I don't understand the roughing call on that. Some are saying that he ripped off Trocheck's helmet or visor or something, and yet he was the one getting mugged by 3 different Rangers, and he was the only one who got a penalty. So little, question on that and what the deal with that is. Adam Fox scores his 6th of the season at 11 minutes and 3 seconds, assisted by Schneider and Lafreniere. And then EP40 returned from the dressing room. He barely played in the second period. He ended up only having 7 minutes of ice time in this game. More on Patterson a little bit later. As I mentioned, Canucks 0 for 3 on the power play. Power play not able to convert. Really missed opportunity for the Canucks here, not converting on any of their power plays. The Rangers ended up getting a power play. They end up not converting on their lone power play. And then towards the end of the second period, I noticed a lot of quote-unquote roughing penalties in this game. Calls being made, a little shoving, being called roughing. Even Shesterkin's penalty was called roughing. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Cooley got called for cross-checking and roughing at the end of the second period. And then shots in the period were 14-5 in favor of Vancouver. Shots after 40 minutes were 25-6 in favor of Vancouver. So the Canucks were really outshooting the Rangers, and how the score was 1-1 after 2 periods, I have no idea. The Canucks, if it wasn't for Shesterkin, I feel as though Canucks would have gotten 5, maybe 6 goals at this point. Moving over to the third period, there was no EP40 or Höglander on the bench to start the period, which is alarming. Brodzinski scores his 8th of the season, shorthanded at 1 minute and 39 seconds, assisted by JT Miller and Lafreniere. At this point, Hughes had 7 shots on goal in this game alone. And then later on, it was revealed that EP40 and Höglander would not return to this game. So they were out of the game. O'Connor scores his 10th of the season at 11 minutes and 22 seconds, assisted by Amon and Mancini. And then Keandre Miller scores his 6th of the season at 12 minutes and 40 seconds, assisted by Trocheck and Fox. The Rangers, 3 goals on 10 shots. Lankinen was not having a really good night. A couple of them, you can give him the benefit of the doubt as they were deflections. Besser scores his 23rd of the season at 15 minutes and 10 seconds, assisted by DeBrusk. And then less than a minute later, Brodzinski scores his 9th of the season at 15 minutes and 47 seconds, assisted by Lafreniere and Soucy. This goal was off the rush for the Rangers. Lankinen's now allowed 3 goals on 5 shots in this period. And in that 4th goal in particular, Lankinen needed to make a save on that. Ended up costing the Canucks. That ended up being the game winner. But Lankinen really needs to come up big there. We gave him the benefit of the doubt on the other goals. This 4th goal, Lankinen should have had that one. So really tough for him. Quinn Hughes was zipping around the ice in this game. Like, he was very noticeable. Actually, earlier on in the game, he was breaking ankles out there. In particular, Matt Rempe twice got completely spun around by Quinn Hughes, and that was great to see, as everyone apparently hates Matt Rempe because of some dirty hits that he's had so far this season. And then JT Miller scores his 17th of the season into an empty net at 19 minutes and 44 seconds, assisted by Fox. And that's the game. Rangers end up winning 5-3. Final shots in the 3rd period were 15-6 in favor of Vancouver. Final shots in the game were 39-12 for the Vancouver Canucks. So the fact that they got 39 shots in the game and only got 3 goals makes you wonder. Moving on to our post-game notes, I just mentioned Quinn Hughes breaking ankles in this game, particularly Rempe. The Canucks on the deserve to win meter, 96.1%, while the Rangers were 3.9%. So the Canucks should have won this game, is basically what that's saying. Considering the shots on goal for the Rangers and the shots on goal for the Canucks deserved, not only did they deserve to win this game, they should have won this game. Tough loss for the Canucks. They were pressuring late in the 3rd period, trying to tie it up. We mentioned Elias Pettersson and Höglander leaving the game. I would say that was a bit of a dagger for the Canucks, as Höglander's been one of their best forwards since the Four Nations break. Obviously, with Elias Pettersson leaving the game, Elias Pettersson's point streak has come to an end. So it ends at 6 games. The Canucks were, as I mentioned earlier, for 4 on the power play, which they need to come up big on the power play if they want to win these games and get into the playoffs. As of this recording, there's no updates on Elias Pettersson. So we'll be staying tuned to see what happens Monday as the Canucks play New Jersey. Moving forward to our player of the game. Not a whole lot to choose from, but I ended up going with Quinn Hughes. As I mentioned earlier, he was zipping around the ice, showcasing his speed, and this was amazing considering we all know Quinn is not 100%, and the way he was just dancing around the Rangers defense and moving the puck into the offensive zone was mind-blowing. And this is him at less than 100%. Imagine if he was at 100%. This game may be very different if he's at 100%. But he had one assist, 9 shots on goal, and he had an ice time of 28 minutes and 25 seconds. Canucks end up losing this one. We are scoreboard watching right now. As of the recording of this video, the Flames are losing to the Islanders right now. So a lot of the Canucks are probably watching that Calgary game, with this being an early start game. Obviously, this is an earlier game recap due to the early start. And the Canucks, this was a must win for them, and they come up short. So that's just another hurdle in their way of trying to make the playoffs. So once again, Monday is a big game for the Canucks. They can't afford to lose too many more games. As we mentioned in a video the other day, New Jersey is struggling, as was the Rangers. So the Canucks need to come up big on Monday against the New Jersey Devils if they want to stay in this playoff race. Obviously, we won't know the final score in the Flames game until later on, as that is currently ongoing. Either way, the Canucks are going to remain below the playoff bar going into Monday. So that's going to do it for this game recap video. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the Line Change, go ahead and subscribe. We are almost at 150 subscribers. So thank you once again to all those that have subscribed. If you want to interact with us on social media, you can find us on X, Facebook, Instagram, as well as TikTok. All links to our social media pages are in the description down below. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.